It's a writing challenge. Nose to the grindstone. Today on The Right Focus. Today's goal was 500 words on the rough, but my commitment took longer than expected. So on my progress chart for the rough shape, I have 0 words. I had more unexpectedness today. Hark back to April 24 where I talk about expecting the unexpected. For the draft, today's goal was 3,000 words. I managed 487 more than that, nearly half of what I lacked yesterday. Over a third done, 3,000 from the half mark of the projection, but I know the story will run more than 33,000 words. Like an inchworm, I'm achieving the goal. However, the end date is rapidly approaching. The upcoming project will interfere. The forgotten and now reminded coming up commitment will also interfere, but I'll reach my goal of publication in May, whether that's before the 5th, on the 5th, or the 8th, or the 10th. Then what? I've started mining ideas for the next book. I had a Sunday a couple of weeks back when I needed a thinking break for the creative muse. I set aside this project and let myself consider the next project. 1,300 words later, I have the strong seeds for a great story. I've already contacted my cover designer. The cover will be available around the time that I start writing the story, which should be a wonderful incentive to keep writing. After publishing 3 books in 3 months, I thought that this project would be a chance to rest back a little and not push so much. Instead, a lot of unexpected disruptions have occurred. Spring is always a distraction. Summer, coming rapidly, is a ginormous distraction. I should finish the next project in June, followed by another project in August. I hope to use a nonfiction book as the breakaway time for these 2 projects, rather than these nightly blogs that I've been writing. The following 2 projects will be the farewell to a 12-book series of loosely connected stories set in the Regency period of England. Mysteries and suspense with a dash of romance for my pseudonym, M.A. Lee. That's the tagline for that series, and I've really enjoyed writing it. Yet fantasy is my first love, and I hope to conclude the year with the 2 novellas that follow this project of To Wield the Wind. Here's an aside. My future self will tell you that the following project ran twice the length, and there was a real-life construction project that was a disruption, including painting. I do not begrudge that real-life construction project. The 2 novellas following To Wield the Wind, published in early 2021. Well. I look at all of my plans for the future and excitement fills me. Some people might look at them and be overwhelmed. I can achieve everything if I keep my nose to the grindstone. Eleanor Hibbert, better known as Victoria Holt, didn't consider her 5 hours of writing every morning a grindstone-like chore. When things are going well, I don't consider writing a chore either. It's a definite love, and I look forward to it. People who still love writing, or who are finding their way back to their love of writing, they've learned what to hate, and it ain't writing, folks. That's lesson 51. The ones that hate writing, maybe they shouldn't call themselves writers. The ones who feel ground down by the desperate need to catch the next trend, to hack out the next story, to grab for money rather than ideas. Are they really writers? The ones who write what they're ashamed to name in the hunt for filthy lucre, are they really writers? I guess because they tell a story, they are writers, but they don't love it the way I do, maybe. I know there's quite a number of people out there who love it the way I do. They find it a real joy. The old pulp writers, what did they call themselves? Hacks. Isn't that what they said? They were putting out story after story, making good money, flipping around ideas, and doing it for years and years and years. They enjoyed what they did. They weren't hacks. They were writers. They were prolific because they treated writing like a job. They kept their nose to the grindstone, and they didn't grind it away because they were doing what they loved. Lesson 52. By the way, doing what you love, that's always the goal. And when you're keeping your nose to the grindstone and you're creating a fine, silky flour, you can make excellent cakes, pastry, yeast rolls, and biscuits, and stories. Speaking of hacks, Mark Twain isn't considered a hack now, but early in his career, that charge was levied against him. Today, Mark Twain opened my writing. My books are water, he said. Those of the great geniuses are wine. Everybody drinks water. Bam! Take that, you literary snobs. I closed with Robert Frost, who reminded me that the purpose is to connect with the audience. No tears in the writer, no tears in the reader. No surprise in the writing, no surprise in the reader. We are the first reader. As Terry Pratchett said, if we ain't enchanted by our own stories, who will be? Thanks for listening to The Right Focus, a podcast for writers at all levels, hosted by M.A. Lee, with assistance from Remy Black and Edie Runs, all from Writers Inc. books. Our focus is productivity, process, craft, and tools. Show notes for this and other episodes can be found on therightfocus.blogspot.com. Write to us at winkbooks@aol.com. Our podcast episodes are running short this month, but usually they last as long as it takes to fix a quick dinner, drive a short